Hey, what's up, everybody? It's October 22nd, 2019, which means we are ready for this week's TNT Tuesday. So on today's episode, we're going to be doing part 4 to Inventor Candy. I've had people reaching out saying, why aren't you doing like my favorite candy ever, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Well, I was hesitant on it just because of allergies. Yep, we know that those things are totally packed full of peanuts, and we're just trying to avoid that from our classroom altogether. I don't know about you guys, but we don't even think about bringing food in the classroom anymore. So we can definitely model this, but a little bit of common sense is going to have to maybe jump in here. Instead of going out there and passing out the candy and the dial calipers and the rulers and all that good stuff, this might be one where you just have to go out there and have all the measurements for them ahead of time, hand it out to them, and then have them model it. Still a great time. There's a lot of great features that they can learn with it. So what that means for us is I went out there and did a little research. Now remember that these are the full-size Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. So the large diameter on the outside on the top of the cup is going to be a diameter of 1.954. The small diameter at the bottom of the cup is going to be a diameter of 1.644. And then there's those little teeth around it. Believe it or not, there are 48 teeth that make up a full-size Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I didn't know that till today. Kind of cool. All right, so the height of the actual teeth is going to be a distance of 0.051. The width of the teeth is going to be 0.104, and the thickness of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is 0.485. So that's all the information we really need for this. Let's go ahead, let's get started with Inventor. So I'm going to come out here, go to New. I'm going to be coming up with this new standard inch IPT and saying Create. Starting a 2D sketch, picking on a work plane, I'm going to come out here and draw my first circle, which is going to have a diameter of 1.954. Okay, so I went out there and found at the height. Okay, coming out, the height of the actual teeth is going to be a distance of 0.051. So I go to Offset, pull this in, 0.051. I'm now going to draw a line from the top of the circle, take that down here to the center point. I'm going to go ahead and just offset this now. So I found the width of the actual teeth is a distance of 0.104. So I'm going to go 0.104 divided by 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and split the difference on that side. I'm going to do the same thing here. So 0.104 divided by 2. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just zoom on here. Go ahead and draw a line starting from this intersection, taking this up to the top of that line, and then from the top of the line, taking it back over here to this intersection right here. And now all I have to do is come in here and delete those 3 lines and go ahead and delete the outside circle, which I don't need that anymore. Okay, so now we have that done. We can go to circular pattern. I can go ahead and grab those 2 lines and make up that geometry. Go to the red arrow, come in here and find my axis, which would be this point, and say that we need 48 of those teeth. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the double chevrons and then double check this, or I'm sorry, go ahead and uncheck this associative and say OK. Okay. So I've tried doing this a couple times with circular pattern. Was failing it the way I want to do it just because it wasn't closing the loop. So we're going to have to kind of go old school on this one. We're going to come out here and just start trimming below each one of these little triangles. So that's what you're going to have to kind of do just for a second. So I'm going to do a quick pause. So as you can see, I've gone out there and I've trimmed all that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to say OK on that. Before I get out of this sketch, what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab all that. I'm going to right click and go ahead and do a copy. Now I can go ahead and finish the sketch. Once I finish the sketch, I'm going to come over here to my origin folder. I'm going to go ahead and turn the plane on in which that sketch is on. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go ahead and visibility and turn that on. Start a 2D sketch, come up here to the border of that plane. I'm going to pick, hold, and drag. I'm going to pull this out the distance, okay, the thickness of our Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, which is 0.485. Now all I have to do at this point is right click, go ahead and do a paste. That has pasted that sketch in. We can't tell because it's stacked right on top of it, but trust me, it's there. Now what I'm going to do is come in here and grab all that. And I'm now going to come out here and go to scale. My red arrow, I'm going to come out here and point to this point right here. And what I'm going to do for my scale factor is I'm going to start with what I want this to be, which is going to be 1.644. And I'm going to divide that by what it currently is, which is 1.954 to come up with that scale factor. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and hit apply and done. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish the sketch. So we can see we have 2 sketches on top of each other, which means we have a prime candidate here to go out there and do some loft. So let's go ahead and let's do the loft. Let's pick on loft. Now when you're going to loft, what I'm going to recommend you do is make sure you get to a view cube plane, which you can see these right on top of each other. I'm going to zoom right in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and pick the top of this triangle right here for that profile, and then pick the top of this triangle right here for that profile and go ahead and do an OK. I'm telling you to do that because sometimes if you're not picking those right in line with each other, what it's going to do is sort of give it a twist or a torque to it. But we can see that the peanut butter cup came out absolutely perfect in this case, okay, using loft. Okay, kind of cool, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is, if you kind of look at the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, these edges on these points are not exactly that sharp. So what I'm going to come out here and do is go to fillet. I'm going to pick the top of one of these. I'm going to just put in my fillet radius, which is 0.02. And I'm going to go ahead and say OK, so it's going to round that over. Okay, obviously we have more than just one of those, so I'm going to come out the circular pattern. I'm going to pick on the top of that fillet. Go to my red arrow for my rotation axis. I see we have nothing out here, but I know that that is my Z-axis, so I'm going to go ahead and pick on that. We can see it's placed 6 of them. Obviously, we need more than 6. We need 48. We're going to go ahead and do an OK. And now each one of those points has been rounded over. So this is really starting to look like that peanut butter cup. So I'm going to come out here and just turn off some planes. Just turn the visibility off some of those just to clean this up. And now what I'm going to do is come out here and find a plane that's going to go right through the center of that. I'm going to go ahead and turn the visibility on. I'm going to go ahead and start a 2D sketch. Okay, on that plane, I'm going to right click and come out here and go to Slice Graphics. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just draw a line. I'm going to draw this line right down the center of this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and place it, and then I'm going to dimension the top of that line to the top surface here. I'm going to be making that a distance of 0.03. Same thing with the bottom. Start here from the edge of this line to this surface, and that's going to be 0.03. So now we've done that. Just keep in mind that that is 0.03. The pocket, the cavity that we are creating is 0.03 up off the bottom. We're going to need to know that later. I'm going to come out here, go to Project Geometry. I'm going to pick the end of this, project that through. I'm going to go to Offset. I'm going to go ahead and pick this. I'm going to pull this out a distance of 0.06 for the offset. Now I'm going to go ahead, draw a line starting from the top of the line that I've just drawn earlier. Keep this 100% horizontal. And I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. I'm going to go right here to the bottom of this edge right here, or this line. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this all the way across. Okay, keeping that horizontal. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just trim this out. So trimming this out, okay, this one and this one. I now have the profile I'm looking for, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. I'm now going to come out here and go to Revolve. That's the profile I'm looking for. Red arrow for the axis. Come right here to this line, and this needs to be a cut revolve, and I'm going to go ahead and say OK. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start a 2D sketch. Okay, I'm going to come right here to this work plane, right click. I'm going to go ahead and Slice Graphics, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and project some geometry. So I've just pulled that through. I'm liking that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new standard inch IPT at this point. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start a 2D sketch. I'm going to jump back over to that Reese's Peanut Butter Cup because I want to take this geometry and I want to go ahead and do a copy. Jump back over to the part that I just created, right click and go ahead and do a paste. And now all I have to do is come out here and draw a line from here to here, and then draw a line from here to here. Okay, I can go ahead and trim out the rest of this. I can now finish that sketch. Go ahead and do my revolve, which is going to be along this axis, and I can go ahead and say OK. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, and at this point in time, obviously your kids can go out there and start applying materials and colors and all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just skip that just to save ourselves a little bit of time. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this one that we just created, that revolve, as Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Middle. I'm going to go ahead and do a save. Okay, and I'm going to jump back to the old part. This was the actual shell. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save that as Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Shell. Okay, so I've got that part. All right, so now what I'm going to do is come out here, go into the IAM environment, and I'm going to come out here and place my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Shell. If I can find it in this complete and total disaster, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in. Okay, and the best thing we can do at this point is right click on this and go ahead and ground it. And I'm now going to go out there and place in my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Middle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that in. Okay, so what we're going to need for the assembly on this one is we're going to need those axes that are going to be showing for both of these. So if you just double click on one of these, okay, I currently have that open, so all I have to do is come up here to Origin. I can come out here and go ahead and turn on that axis and go ahead and do a save. Same thing, I jump back into assembly. If I were to double click on the middle part of this, it's going to open that up because it's currently open. Go out here to Origin, find the axis that goes right down through the center of that, right click, turn the visibility on, jump back over to the assembly. Okay, so now we're basically sort of set up with things that we need. So we're going to come out here and go to Constrain. I'm going to pick on this axis, okay, and pick on this axis because we're going to go ahead and do a mate. We're going to go ahead and do an apply. Okay, so it's going to be kind of hard to see that middle. It's actually kind of throwing it in there. So what we might have to do is just come out here and turn off the grounded option just a little bit. Okay, pull this out just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and reground that. Okay, and then all we're going to have to do now is go out here and, well, if we want to kind of lock that down, I guess what we're going to have to do is turn on this work plane. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn the visibility on, jump back into the assembly, and I'm just going to come out here and, I don't know, I can just do a flush between this work plane and this work plane. All right, actually we can make it a mate. Let's go ahead with apply on that. Okay, and then now we can do our flush. So we're going to say this face and this face here. And then our offset needs to be 0.03. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and say okay on that. And we'll see that the middle is right there, smack dab in the middle of the cup. So we're going to go ahead and do a save as real quick. Give it a special name like so. And then here's what's really cool is we can jump over here into our IDW environment. Okay, we can go into our base view. We can go ahead to our view cube, change that up. We can go ahead and bump this scale up. I'm just going to make this 2 to 1. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. All right, so there's our Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And what we're going to do is come out here and do a section view. So I come right here. I'm going to come right here to the center. I'll go ahead and pull this up, pull this straight down, go right through the cup, right click and say continue, pull this over. And now we are looking at the inside, okay, of our Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. A really cool way to show section views. Okay, it's the same exact thing we were doing with Kit Kats last week. So some great stuff you can do there with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, section views. A lot of great features to go out there and mess around with, like loft, and there's a little bit of assembly with that one. So there you go. That's America's #1 Halloween candy, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Challenging, a lot of great features with it, but a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this week's TNT Tuesday. I hope you have a great week.